Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Comic Corner, where we do news, reviews, and interviews. Today, I am your host, TJ AKA Fat Thor, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host and partner in crime, Damon, who is on the road right now. Damon, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great. If my internet's terrible, it probably will be. So that's why you're hosting.
Hey, I never mind. I like talking to the people, and I'm usually the one with the internet trouble, so it's nice to not be on that end this week. But we still had to come and do a show for you guys, whether or not Dame is on the road or not, because we have some great books to talk about. We have Absolute Flash. Is it cooking? Is it kicking into high gear? Dame is going to tell us all about it, along with the new Nightwing, which, again, Dame is going to tell us all about because I know nothing about. But what I do know about is our boy Thor, because we have a new Mortal Thor #5 on the list as well. So, I don't think we have any news today. So let's just get right into our reviews. First up, Absolute Flash. Just talking about it. Damon, are we cooking? Are we at full speed right now? I'm still a couple issues behind, so catch me up.
Yeah, no, we are absolutely cooking. Haha. Oh man, we're doing all the puns this morning. This book had not been one when it was coming out that I was looking forward to on a weekly basis. And it was a weekly, but monthly basis. It just hadn't been like I thought it was fine, but it took a while for us to get to this point. And I think I told you and some others that once when you get to like the Barry Allen issue, which is really like the here's what's going on, here's what we're leading to. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is cool, this is great. And there's a lot of elements of this series that I've already loved. I mean, Baby Monkey Grodd, you can't go wrong with the little baby monkey friends.
We
But
talk about it
it
all the time. Every comic needs a sidekick monkey.
absolutely, and in this, it's just a little baby monkey Grodd, and he's so cute. But it's great. This issue specifically, like it really feels like we've taken it to the next chapter of this series. Like we're pushing it into like that maybe final part of the first big arc, maybe if not the final part, like going into it. Because we quite literally break down barriers into like new worlds, and I love the little twist it does on Flash lore. I know AF has really been enjoying it too, but I think this is a series that if you didn't like the first few issues, it gets better with time, as a good comic should, right? Like it, we often talk about how we get into a comic and sometimes it starts off amazing and then it peters out, right? This kind of feels a little bit the opposite, where it's a slow start and now we're full speed ahead. It's great. I really like Nick Robles' art in here, but Adriano Lucas's colors, like when you get into like these like Flashpoint type of worlds and stuff for like Speed Force type of like things, it's just incredible what he does with like the reds and yellows and how Wally is able to see like past and future versions of himself, and how he's able to how Nick and Adrian are able to portray that. I think it's great. Jeff Lemire definitely knows how to make you really sad. And I don't know if we're quite there yet, but I feel like it's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming if it's in a Lemire book. And I love a good timey-wimey aspect to a story, and like the Speed Force is just my bread and butter. I think that's just such rich area for storytelling, which we've seen like 100 years of, but so that makes me super excited. I actually have it right here, or yeah, this is #9, but I have them all sitting right here. I was gonna try to catch up before the show, but just did not have time. But I'm so. Let me ask you, where would you rank this currently with the Absolute? Because we talk about this pretty much every week at this point, but since you're saying like how Flash is really kicking up right now and probably like in its not its peak, but like we're getting there, has it changed? Has it shifted rankings for you?
It hasn't necessarily shifted rankings for me. It's still hard because Absolute Martian Manhunter has been on a hiatus. So
The
it's
best
hard to
book in
like
the world.
drop that because I know when it comes back, it's gonna like shoot right back up. But I think it's starting to go toe to toe with Absolute Superman for me in that 4 spot.
Yeah, I think that's 100% fair. Being behind on both tides, I might be caught up on Superman actually, but I do feel very similar about Flash and Superman. I think that's a really good comparison. I
It,
not saying neither of those books are less than Batman or Wonder Woman, but I
yeah,
get kind of a similar vibe from those two books.
it's the sci-fi factor,
Yeah,
and Absolute Flash is as weird as it sounds, maybe a slightly more grounded angle on the sci-fi. We're not dealing with aliens and stuff, but you're dealing with the Speed Force, and you're dealing with Thawne and the U.S. government secret stuff that they're looking into. Right? It's like that type of sci-fi rather than like alien Superman sci-fi.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I cannot wait. That's going to be next up on my list. And we got Nightwing next. Another DC. We're hitting the DC first today, people. And we got Nightwing number 133 from writer Dan Waters, artist V. Ken Marion. Sorry, I suck at doing names. Colorist Veronica Gondina. Letterer
Gondina.
Wes Abbott. And editors Jessica Burbe and Rob Levin. Damon, once again, tell me all about it.
All right, so I haven't really talked so much as I want to about this Nightwing run from Dan Waters as we had with Tom Taylor's, and that's just because there's so many really good books, especially a lot of really good DC books out right now. The
I
absolute
remember you saying last
yeah,
issue was smacking though.
dude, last issue was crazy. So for those
Yeah.
who don't know what's going on in this title, this takes place obviously immediately after Tom Taylor's run. Tom Taylor's run, iconic. It's one of my favorite comic runs of all time. It's that good. And what Dan Waters has done is pulled the curtain back to a darker spot, a grittier spot with Nightwing, but also made this, like, he called this arc a kaleidoscope. And I really see that because we have this figure that is just like the spirit of the circus that's just been haunting over Nightwing and then maybe some people of his past. I do not want to go into spoilers for what happens last issue because it's that insane. But this issue specifically, I thought was okay. I hate calling anything a filler issue because this isn't a filler issue, but this is like one of those you kind of need this to put some playing blocks kind of back in their places before you finish your arc. You need to deal with some things that you laid down way earlier in this arc, deal with those very quickly before you go into your big final battle type of thing where he is going
Yeah.
off against this spirit. So he has to deal with his sister, who is half sister. Dick Grayson has a half sister, everyone, for those who don't know, that happened in the Tom Taylor run, who had become mayor of Bloodhaven, and she is no longer mayor of Bloodhaven. So have to deal with that. We have to deal with what's been going on with Nightwing Prime and everything going on there. So there was like a little kid, and he essentially got like fifth dimension imped into being Nightwing Prime. Very fifth dimensional, very like Superman-y type of stuff. There's a really good discussion here between the head detective of Bloodhaven and Dick about how Nightwing is the again I one of my favorite things about the character is he is like a mixture of both everything that is Batman and everything that is Superman. And she brings that up to him. It's like how he has to straddle that line of being a symbol, but also being the scapegoat in a lot of ways of what Batman is. So we're just kind of like putting all our pieces in place before we go into our final thing, which is good. It's needed because if you don't do that, then you have a lot of just like loose ends. It's like, well, what happened here? Why do we do this? Why do we do that? And maybe a little bit of what you and I talked about, which is maybe one of our issues with Ultimate Spider-Man, where we set up all these amazing things, and that was it. The
And then
end,
you're
right?
kind of just dragging it out.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, and then you just never go back to it, like the Sandman aspect.
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like an issue with that, but something dealt with here before we go into Nightwing has to essentially kind of go into the fifth dimension, the fourth dimension, whatever it is, to go deal with this being. And it is straight up circus nightmares.
I'm in.
It's wild. Martian Manhunter, here on the cover, played a little bit of a role a few issues back. They set this up for him to essentially lead him into this dimension. And that's kind of the role that John plays. Very interesting issue. And by interesting, I mean like I was expecting us to dive deep into the final arc, but we're not there yet. This is to lead us there. So it's fine. I think so. V. Karen Marion kind of stepped in just to, I believe, just to do this issue. And I think the art's okay. It falls under the realm of almost taking me out of it because the style is that different. Like Barba looks exactly like MJ. Drawn almost the exact same way that like JR does MJ type of thing. But I'm like, all right, that took me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But in my mind, to headcanon it, it's because I'm seeing things maybe through the eyes of the Martian Manhunter, which is why things look different in this issue. And that's what I'm telling myself visually why it looks different. Because I go into, if you're going to have an art change like that, you need to have a reason. Even if it's for one issue and you have a fill-in artist, you need to have like kind of like a story reason for it. And that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said it was supposed to be a kaleidoscope, so you know, all the images in a kaleidoscope aren't the same, so it makes sense there's a new artist. But I totally get what you mean, and it like for me, I feel like I'm in a hard position because it's like I don't dislike the art, and I don't mean this specifically, in general, but you know, when art changes up, like you said, sometimes it's just you're in a story for so long and you get like this jarring change. Sometimes it's hard to stay into it, and like I said, but it also kind of makes you feel bad because you're like, I don't dislike this. It's just you get what I'm trying to say.
So I need like a reason for it, and
Yeah.
I talk a lot about like the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run, and there's a moment in there when Kate goes off to LA, and the art style changes drastically during those issues. But story-wise, it makes sense because you're now going through a story through Kate's eyes, through Kate's world, so the art will change a little bit. There's a reason for it, and I continue to go back to an issue of Nightwing, and it was unfortunately one of the most important issues of the run because it was supposed to be like Dick at his highest. Everything is going amazing. This is like the best day ever. And maybe like the reason that it looks that way is because it is like the best day ever. Everything is high, so it looks a little not chibi, but anime style. And I'm like, that is not Bruno Redondo's art here at all. Ever like, why does Dick look like this? Why does so and so look like this? It looked weird. It was just for that one issue. But regardless, this issue is good. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all ends. And what I'm really excited for is Dan Waters has said he's already working on the next main arc. It is with an industry legend, which I'm excited. He hasn't said who it is, but he said an industry legend on with the art. And it is going to be more grounded, like back to like a grounded Bloodhaven Dick Grayson story.
Well, that's exciting, man. I haven't read Nightwing. I read some Tom Taylor stuff, especially like when I first started doing this show with y'all. That was like at its peak. But I love Nightwing as a character. That's always been my dude. Like when people talk about like the Robins, and I don't mean like him as Robin. Like I like him as Nightwing. We're way past that. But yeah, Dick Grayson's always been my Robin. He'll always be my Nightwing. So it's awesome to see that he has such a good solo title going. And got to shout out our buddies. Shout out Brandon in the chat. It's been a while. Good to see you, my man. And our other co-host, AF, who could not make it today. Hey, AF, we love you, buddy.
Are early today.
Yeah,
a little unintentional. That was my fault. I don't know time zones anymore. Because
it's always Damon's fault. Anyone watching, if we are on a different time, it was Damon's fault. But what are you giving it? What are we giving Nightwing this week?
Between a 3.5 and a 4.
That's fair. I totally forgot though. We got to go back. We got to rate Flash.
That
What are
was a
we rating
4.
Flash?
That was a
4.
4. Solid 4.
Okay, not bad. 3.5 and a 4. We're cooking good. Oh, Mortal Thor. It's funny you brought up filler issues in regards to Nightwing, and I think this fits the bits. We got 2 filler issues this week in both our titles, but like you said, we don't like to use that word filler. But we have this is Mortal Thor number 5 from writer Al Ewing, artist Pasquale Ferry, colorist Matt Milla, letterer Joe Sabina, and editors Danny Kazim and Will Moss. Now, Thor is dead. We've talked about this a little bit in our previous episodes. In Immortal Thor, big god adventure, Utgard gods, and at the end, Thor is quote unquote killed, but is resurrected as Sigurd Jarlson, which is a callback to one of the old Thor runs. But he has no idea who he is. He just thinks he's some Norwegian dude who has lost his memory. And obviously, we have greater things happening in the background. We have Donald Blake, our good old buddy. He is in charge of this new kind of group of, I don't even know, snake agents. I think they call them. Like they're like this like snake gang or whatever. But yeah, so
Are
they're
we Serpent Society?
basically, yeah. Well,
Right?
I kind of skipped over this because I don't, I want y'all to read the run. I don't need to give play by play of everything, but Donald Blake is now the god of lies. He has become the god of lies. He was trapped underneath Asgard with the world serpent, just like spitting venom in his face for a long ass time. So yeah, dude's messed up. So in this issue, though, we kind of, like you were saying with Nightwing, we're kind of not taking a step back, but we're setting up where we're going, kind of where we've been. We kind of recap a little bit of like, yeah, this is Donald, like, way back. Odin made Donald Blake to teach Thor humility. We get all that. And we also get in this issue, which was very interesting, Odin returns, because of course he does, because Odin will never just fully go away. But he has escaped Valhalla. Well, not really escape. He just walked out because he created Valhalla. And he is now Odin the Wanderer. He is not the All-Father, because obviously that is Thor. So now he's just kind of on his own self-discovery journey, but we get a conversation between him and Loki about what the hell is going on with Sigurd Jarlson. What are they going to do? Our boy is locked up right now because he fought off these serpent dudes. So yeah, it was a good issue. It wasn't, we didn't get anything crazy, just kind of, again, reestablish like what's going on, kind of tease us of where we're going, and then we get the stinger at the end of Donald Blake capturing Sigurd. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I mean, I'll give this one a 3.5 because nothing insane happened. It more so was just kind of setting seeds up. We get a scene with Odin where he says, like, Sigurd is not Thor. Like, he's like, this is not my son. Like, he may look like him or whatever, but this is not him. And I mean, I don't like Odin as much as the next guy, but the dude does know a lot of shit. So that kind of brings a whole interesting aspect into this quote unquote mystery. Like, is Sigurd really, like, we all kind of just assume with comic book knowledge, like, yeah, he's just Thor resurrected. But I don't know, maybe Al is throwing in a real big twist there where this Sigurd somehow is not actually Thor. So yeah, definitely interesting issue. It was, like I said, I think a needed issue, especially with all these kind of big brain concepts we're dealing with time and resurrection. And, Al Ewing is a very kind of poetic writer as well. So, I mean, a lot of like things that Loki say pretty much never make sense. It's like a riddle every single time. So I think this issue was needed to kind of, again, reestablish where we're at, what's going on, so that way when the big crazy stuff is going to happen, we're all kind of prepared for it. So yeah, 3.5.
2 things. One, I went to Epcot yesterday, just on a whim, and in the Norway Pavilion, TJ, they have an actual, like, not a shrine, but like a little museum type of thing towards the Norwegian gods of Thor and Odin, and Loki has a little
Sick.
spot. And it's not like the Marvel version of these characters. It's like the the
Mm-hmm.
proper like actual Norwegian stories and stuff. So I thought that was like pretty cool, and like you're able to see like, oh, this is where like Stan and Jack kind of took inspiration in a lot of like these stories and things.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the Marvel side, just because it kind of popped in my head, because this isn't like the first time that Sigurd's like appeared and like Donald Blake and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If we fast forward in the MCU, let's say like 3, 4, 5 years down the line, could you see them doing like a to bring Thor back, like a guy like this who had no idea he was or is Thor
Mm-hmm.
and kind of has to find out that way if we wanted to bring it back like that?
I think that would be super clever. Honestly, I think that would be. I mean, I know people would hate it. people would get super pissed about it. But yeah, I mean, the Sigurd Jarlsson that comes from Walt Simonson's Thor, the Walt father. I do, and a lot of others consider as like the gold standard of Thor. And basically, he went undercover, quote unquote, because he just wanted to kind of chill for a while. So Nick Fury gave him the moniker of Sigurd Jarlsson, and then he like was a construction worker, just kind of chilled. So I think that would be kind of a really creative and kind of fun thing to do if we were to, if we're talking like a reboot MCU type style thing, and we introduced, like you said, a guy who doesn't know he's Thor but is like the Sigurd route. I think that would be really cool, and I think it'd be a fun shout to, like I said, the Walt father. And I mean, they got the playbook right here if they want to dip into that type of story, because like I said, before it was just a name, an alias, but now it's this whole like he does not know he's Thor, or if he is Thor. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. I mean, it's gonna happen, right? Like the MCU we will get a new Thor eventually. I love Chris Hemsworth. I'll have Chris Hemsworth play Thor forever, but I know it's not gonna happen. So if we have to have that scenario, I think that would be a great way to do it.
There you go.
There you go, people. Space Ghost. Another one. This is a great week for me, man. Two of my favorites. If we had a storm in here, I would be over the moon. But we have Space Ghost number 6 from writer David Pepose, artist Jonathan Lau, colorist Andrew Dahlhaus, letterer Taylor Esposito, and editors Joseph Raybrandt. I did that one way better this time. Space Ghost number 6. Everyone knows who watches this show, I love this series. I love David Pepose. I think he is just killing it right now. And it's just another great fun issue. I mean, we talk about this a lot. The structure of this book is very much like a Saturday morning cartoon. We have our arcs that have, gone on here and there with, this villain, that villain, but very much like you can pop in every issue. It's a new adventure every single time. And in this week's episode of Space Ghost, we have Space Ghost and his crew coming across some space vampires, which is just so freaking fun, dude. Just saying space vampire makes me smile. But it's just exciting. It's fun. We got what's it called? Like a like Nosferatu type style where, classic vampire lore, you got to kill the head vampire to save this crew that, their ship has been taken over by the vampires. It's like I said, it's just so fun. And something I really love about this issue and just the whole Space Ghost series as a whole, we talk about a lot, is that Jan and Jace, Space Ghost sidekicks, they get a lot to do in these books. Like, they are not just kind of there to, grab this for Space Ghost or whatever. Like, they have a lot of autonomy in these books. And in this issue, you can see on the cover, kind of spoilers, but Space Ghost becomes a vampire. So it's up to Jan and Jace to save the day. And I just love how Pepose trickles in these issues that, put Jan and Jace as the star characters, and like they're forced to figure something out without the help of Space Ghost, and like just really showing how capable they are. And, again, that they're not just like stupid, like literally in the original Space Ghost show, if anyone out there is a fan of the old cartoons, like every single episode, I'm not even like exaggerating, every single episode is Jan and Jace get captured and Space Ghost has to save them. Like that's like every single episode. So I love here how, again, Jan and Jace not only have things to do, but are integral to the story, whatever villain they're facing. So yeah, great issue. Again, I love how we're playing with all these characters. Everyone gets their time to shine, but we do. I unfortunately have to give it a low rating on the monkey meter this week. Blip,
ask about that.
Blip is there. Blip is there. Don't worry, Blip is there. We don't forget about Blip ever. But you know, he's just kind of in a few panels with Jan and Jace. So 1 out of 5 on the monkey meter, but I'm giving this a good 4.5 out of 5 on the fun and awesome meter, because it's just good, man. You know when it's like you're trying to talk about a book, but like the only thing you can really, it's like it's just good. Like the art's good, the storytelling is really good, it's fun, it's emotional. Like it's just goddamn good comic book, man.
It's a hoot and holler book.
Dude, it is a hoot and a holler. And I'm glad you brought that back because we haven't done a hoot and a holler in a while. So yeah, Space Ghost 4.5 out of 5. I say it all the time, but you guys really got to check this book out. If you haven't been following along, don't be intimidated. Like I said, it's very structured like a, cartoon of the week, and you can jump in pretty much any issue and I guarantee you'll have a great time.
Would it be a 5 out of 5 if Blip was in it more?
Yes, absolutely. No, the only reason it's not a true 5, at least for me, is like I said, it's just kind of a fun issue, a fun adventure. Like it's not going with the kind of, like I said, overall arc that kind of is laying out in the background. But that's the only reason that it's not 5 out of 5. Great issue. Next week, man, we freaking ran through these books.
We only had 4 issues this week. It was a pretty light week, and then for whatever reason, the comic publishers were like, "Hey, Christmas break, drop all the bangers," and I'm like, "Why, DC? What are we doing?" I have 4 books next week, and 3 of them are great absolute titles. It's the return of Absolute Martian Manhunter with number 7.
My favorite.
Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. It's the Batman Wonder Woman issue, and it's releasing on Christmas Eve. Like, I don't know why
Merry Christmas.
Week. I don't know why this week, because a lot of shops won't be open, or if they are open, they won't be open for very long. Mm-hmm. And then also Superman 33, which is part of the DC KO shenanigans going on, and then back to Boom Studios because, hey, you know what screams holiday season? How about a little horror book?
Yeah, why not?
With Hello Darkness.
Yeah, it's like I appreciate leaving us with a little Christmas present, before the end of the year, but like Christmas Eve, like it couldn't be the week before, like that's a tough ask, but I'll probably be there anyway. Especially since Absolute Martian Manhunter is releasing, I am for sure gonna be there because I love that book. But my list is exactly the same. I am all Absolute next week. Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Wonder Woman. That's all I got. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it's a very absolute week. I'm trying to look like what Marvel titles are even like out next week. Oh, wait a minute. I think we forgot a huge book.
What?
Is that next week? Okay, it's not next week. It's the week after. We're good. It's the week after. The 31st.
We're thinking Endgame?
Yes, okay.
Dude, if we missed that would be insane.
The Will of Doom, for those who are really following the 12 months of Doctor Doom shenanigans.
Oh my god, dude.
is out next week. The Will of Doom, number 1. It is a one-shot.
I still gotta finish One World Under Doom.
Ugh, so long.
Too long. Well, like I said, that was a quick ass show, man. We ran through that. I mean, do you have any? I mean, we're only at 30 minutes. It's not saying we got to stay for hours, but do you got anything else you want to bring up for the folks before we get out of here? I'm trying to think if anything interesting even happened this week in the comic book space.
I want to do some of our favorite comics of the year, and I mean
Oh,
next
for sure.
and also maybe do an ultimate absolute ranking. Once again, we haven't done one of those in a hot minute.
Oh, well, to end off the year, we definitely have to do a ranking. I think because I mean, our earlier rankings, I feel at least I did. A lot of us were like, "Oh, well, it's too early to like really compare." Blah blah blah. But we've had plenty of time now.
Yeah, now
We can compare.
if you had to pick a favorite of each right now, let me ask you this on the spot: a
Okay.
favorite of each, and a favorite ultimate book, and a favorite absolute book.
Absolute Martian Manhunter, easy.
Okay.
Ultimates, I gotta say the Ultimates.
Yeah,
That's. I
that's
mean, if I thought like more than 5 seconds about one, I might have a different answer. But just off the top, those are the two that immediately come to mind.
yeah. Ultimates has been phenomenal. I am so sad that that's ending. I think only a couple like issues, and that's including like the annuals for me on
Yeah,
that end, and then Absolute Wonder Woman has just been so
amazing.
fun, so good. It's so cool seeing now like Batman and Wonder Woman start to cross over a little bit. DCKO, I haven't really gotten into the event. Like it started like, oh, that was cool, and then they like completely pulled the rug out from under me. And maybe
Mhm.
you too, when like we saw the bracket, and then the bracket never really was a bracket. And it's like a little weird and confusing. And I'm like,
Yeah, a
all
little
right,
bait
I
and
kind of lost
switch.
interest after that. And also,
Yeah.
they were revealing like the Elite Eight essentially,
Mhm.
like before we even got our first issue. I'm like, well, there goes the fun.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do when the Ultimates ends. Like, I've
Ugh.
been so not put off. I don't want to say that like in any disrespectful way, but just everything on the main Marvel line, I have just been so like I'm far behind on, and just not as interested as I am in the Ultimates. To be fair, like besides our very niche cases, Storm, Hulk,
Mhm.
like Thor, but yeah, just I don't even know what the hell's going on. So I like I said, once the ultimate line ends after Endgame, I don't know. I'm very interested to see what's coming next because I feel like you can't end the ultimate line that is so doing so good without replacing it with something new. Like you get what I'm trying to say? Like what is gonna be after? Like I'm just so curious of what the game plan is.
No, me too, because on the Marvel side, really all we know going into next year is the Shadows of Tomorrow from the X-Men, which we both agreed when that was announced. It was just like, that
Mm.
just sounds like a renamed version of From the Ashes.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound like
exactly.
anything new is happening. There's no new creative teams. You're not
Mhm.
limiting the number of books that they've put out there because there's just been like an insane amount of X books. And I
Dude,
liked the
too
Magic book, and
many.
I will be reading Magic and Colossus, and I'll probably also check out Danny Moonstar from the same writer, Ashley Allen. But there's just so many X books, and I'm just not like committed to it as I
Mhm.
am like with the Absolute line or with the Ultimate line. And the only mainline Marvel books I have been reading, like for you, you've been reading everything Storm, and I
Mhm.
read pretty much everything Scarlet Witch. And we
Yeah.
have her becoming the Sorcerer Supreme, which
Mhm.
is neat and cool. I mean, we thought it was going to be another like competition thing. That's how they teased it, and then they pulled the rug out from under us, and now we already know who it is. And it's just another Wanda book,
Mhm.
which is fine. But like nothing's like just like grabbing me, and I'm a little worried going into next year. And it almost feels Marvel's kind of in two places here. It almost feels like when DC, right before they did Dawn of DC and
Mhm.
into All In, where they were just kind of like in like a weird limbo, and we're all looking at each other like, Marvel's killing it. What's DC
Mhm.
doing? And then DC did All In from Dawn of DC. They did All In, brought in all these amazing titles, uh, Absolute Line and everything. And then Marvel's like, okay, I can see what you're starting to do, but it's not in one big swoop like it was with DC. Marvel, I feel like, is doing it very little at a time. Like, okay, we have Chip Zdarsky on Captain America,
Mhm.
but that was just like one book. Okay, we have Joshua Williamson coming in to do Iron Man. again, that's one book. It's not under like a big swoop.
Yeah.
And I feel like it needs a big arm just to kind of go like this
Mm-hmm.
and be like, this is what it is right now, right?
Well,
okay,
and I mean,
Kennedy Johnson, like with the new #1 for Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But again, it doesn't feel like, not with DC, where DC, everything is so right now like put together nicely.
Yeah, and I think you said it perfectly. I mean, all the titles that you mentioned are very standalone titles. Like
yes,
Hulk, like the Hulk book from Phil Kennedy Johnson. Yes, it does take place in the main Marvel continuity, but it has nothing to do with anything else that's going on. Like he has, like he's run into different characters before, but like we never mention like the Avengers or this or
but
that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The new Avengers, like, isn't Hulk a part of that?
That's what I'm saying, though, and I think that goes to your point. Is like what it DC is very cohesive right now of like what is going on. Their main, the absolute. But I feel like Marvel, like the Ultimates is good. Ultimate side is very solid and through line, but the main continuity of the books going on right now are just kind of all over the place. Like you said, we have like 10 different X-Men books that they're all over the place.
10 is putting it lightly. Like 10.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, we have the Avengers, Jed McKay's Avengers, which I know I'm just thinking too much into it. But again, like we have Mortal Thor. But the last I checked, Thor was on the Avengers as well. So like, how does that work, right? And I don't know. I hope that with this next year, they see what is working with Storm and Hulk and these other titles, and they start bringing it more together. And that brings up a question I was just thinking about. I want to ask you, Damon, because maybe I'm stupid, but what would you think if they condensed the X-Men titles and like to like maybe just maybe just a X-Men book, like just
they'll never
X-Men.
do
I know they'll never do it. I just mean
and I don't think they
in
should.
A hypothetical world. Do you think that could help with the feeling of overwhelmness?
One book is not enough. And again, like when they announced the new X-Men line, it was like, 3 books. And it was like, 3 books is great.
Okay, so let's do it 3
then. Is great.
What about 3?
And then all of a sudden it became 14.
But what? So what about 3? If they cut it down to like an X-Men, I don't know, exceptional X-Men and New Mutants, like let's just say for an example.
Fine, but they have to stick to it because they did that, and it lasted like 3 weeks.
Well, that's what I mean. If they stuck to it, do you think that would?
We have a Mystique. We have a.
Do you think that would bring you back though, or not even just maybe not you necessarily, but be a lot more easier to and less barrier to entry is the word
I think the X fans would be happy.
Mm-hmm. I would.
I think what Marvel needs to do, and they kind of did it with X-Men, they just need less books, but they need it throughout the entire line of all their Marvel titles. There's so many like other weird things going on. There's like the Marvel Knights thing that's been like happening.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about Marvel Knights.
Forgot about it, right? Completely forgot about it. They've been doing like red band titles, which is like, okay, fine. There's a little extra red red ink on a page. Yeah. But what they need to do, and maybe you could still have like essentially what DC has, but Black Label books, and I think Marvel needs to dabble in with that, and maybe do it good. But what Marvel needs to do is they need to have like a proper initiative, I think, throughout the entire line, not just an X initiative, a Marvel initiative. And that's what made the Ultimate line so successful, is because it was 4, 5 books, start out 3, 4 or 5 books that they all just kind of like talked into each other. And they need to do that with like their entire line.
Yeah, I could not agree more. Hey, but who's going to listen to us? We're just 2 idiots on YouTube, right? But that is our show for today. Obviously, we will be back next week talking all about the Absolute books. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Shout out Brandon and AF. We love you guys so much. We love all of you watching and listening to us. Be sure to go check out Agents of Fandom on everywhere that you can find it. Agents of Fandom, let's see, I have it on the bottom. Agents Fandom on Twitter, Agents of Fandom, pretty much everywhere else. Also, be sure to check out agentsoffandom.com. I know that we have shows for pretty much everything on TV right now. I just saw y'all live for Percy Jackson, so be sure to go check out those episodes. And other than that, go support your local comic shop. Go, Damon, remind me, localcomicshopfinder.com.
Go to comicshoplocator.com.
Comic
Find the
Shop
nearest
Locator.
comic shop near you. Also, I believe this coming weekend, keep an eye out. We will be having full Avatar Fire and Ash discussions, maybe some extra stuff. You can peep at the Instagram to get a little tease of what's to come. That's all I'll say there. And we'll have a full discussion on that. And hey, maybe we'll get a proper look of Avenger Doomsday teaser in a theater. Maybe.
What do you mean of the first official, man?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay hydrated out there and read some good comic books. We will see y'all next week.